Kendrick was the little quiet little kid.
We will be interviewing Mrs. Johnson, the mother of Kendrick Johnson, the young man that was found in a high school gym in Valdosta, Georgia, under suspicious circumstances.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we just wanted to kind of find out a little bit about Kendrick when he was young. How what kind of kid he was and what his dreams and aspirations were growing up.
Kendrick was the little quiet little kid. He was best, was shy. He was curious all in one. He loved just really hang around the house. He played three sports all during school. He basketball, football, and he ran track. He did all those sports, but his passion was football. Kendrick loved him for football. He just knew he was going to make it in the pro one day, and he always said he wanted to play for FSU. He was the baby of the bunch. He was the last of our house. I mean, he was the last one in our house, and he would just do some of the craziest things he would. He was just, his sister had graduated, so she would be home in bed sleep. And he would get out of school, and he would just come in there and just dive on her back and just make her so mad. And she would just chase him all through the house. But it would be the funniest little thing, and they would just sit down and just laugh about the little crazy stuff he did.
Oh, they sounded really close.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what led up to the incident that happened with Kendrick?
What led up to it?
Like what happened to your son at the high school?
Well, they told us that Kendrick was trying to get his tennis shoe, fell into the net, stayed there, and got stuck and died in so many words. But I know that's not so, because Kendrick would never try to get in a match. He couldn't get in. First of all, and then he couldn't reach the bottom of the net to even get those tennis shoes out of a dark hole. So like I always tell him, if tennis shoes were in a net, Kendrick would have took all those nets down, throw them down, and when he got his shoes, and left them nets down on the floor and went on the class.
Right. So what was the thing that made you the most suspicious about what they were telling you?
Well, once they said that it wasn't no shooting, no stabbing, no physical bruising, I already knew right then it's gonna kick in. Okay, somebody killed my baby. If there ain't been no random shooting and nobody stabbed or none of that, I already know somebody gonna kill her. It ain't no other way possible that you can really die at the schoolhouse. I mean, I know crazy stuff do happen, but not just to come out and say that they see no physical bruises, no evidence or nothing. But when we see his face again, my God, if them ain't bruises, my Lord, what the world?
Right, yeah, that was very disturbing. So what led up to you guys exhuming Kendrick's body?
First time?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, when they came back and told us a position of asphyxiation, we already knew that we would have to do our own autopsy, because we knew, like, Kendrick was, just the stories that they was giving us, we already knew that what they was going to come back with was going to be for them. For the other side, we already knew they weren't going to come back out with the truth.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, it was just the 5th year anniversary for Kendrick, and I've seen that you hosted some events through the 10th through the 14th. Can you tell me about those events and what was the turnout of them?
The event on the 10th was his actual 5th year, and we did a candle lighting this year. We usually go to the graves and it has spoken words, a poem or something, and a song, and release balloons. But this year I want to switch it back up. It was his 5th year anniversary, so we did lighting of the candles, and we did a prayer, and we had my nephew to do some spoken words over it. And that led into the beginning. And then on the 13th, we did a march, a peace walk. We marched from where Kendrick got killed at Lowndes High School to his grave where he ended up at. And that was like 4.5 miles. And that evening we did a gala for him, just remembering him, loving him, and, you know, talking about the good times. And, you know, then the people speak about the things that, you know, going on and nobody want to do nothing about it. You know, most of the turnout be from that I get with Kendrick, it'd be like I get more out of town people to support than anything. But, you know, if you have something free besides walking or something that's really going to support the show in numbers, like I did at my birthday party in October, and it was so full of people, we didn't even have chairs. We ran out of food. That's how full it was. But for his gala, because you had to give a $25 donation, it was like maybe 60 to 80 people there.
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Well, will you be doing any events in the future for Kendrick?
I will for the rest of my life. I will do an event for January the 10th, always, and for his birthday to celebrate his life and his legacy, October the 10th.
Okay. Well, I will. We should probably try to come to one of those. That seems interesting. I wish I could have made it. There's a witness statement that's been going around, and I was wondering, is that witness statement, like, did someone actually come forward?
Someone did come forward. Yes, they did. But you know how they try to make everybody that come forward make their statement like they just a person out here on drugs or running around. They try to discredit it in every way, find something about everything that what somebody said. The first witness that came forward, they sent him to jail. The second witness that came forward, they sent him to jail. They found a reason to lock him up, any little nitpicky thing or just something to harass the people so they'll just go away. The first person, they locked him up for a long time and even made him allegedly turn his story around.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he recanted his story?
He recanted
saying that didn't happen?
Yeah. Saying he lied. But you knew detailed stuff that happened. Yeah. So they made him recant his story by trying to imprison him.
Well, I know I had seen previous stories on Kendrick about how they had the CCTV TVs like within the school, correct?
The who now?
How they had the closed circuit cameras within the school. Is that right?
They have cameras all over that school. And
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So, but they didn't have any footage in that area, right, of where the mats were?
That's what they say.
Wow.
They tried to make like that. Those cameras had been tore up for like 2 years, which we know that was a lie because like one of the guys that was Kendrick's friends was in that corner right before Christmas fight, and they had all that recorded. And then somebody watch it went missing. They seen it on camera who took the watch, when they took the watch, and everything. So it's just
terrible.
Well, I think this is the problem that I have with the pictures. The pictures that were put out, the way they found the body. So supposedly they're stating that he was reaching down into the mat to get his tennis shoes, correct?
Yes.
And they never explained how the tennis shoes ended up on top of the body?
See, it was the second set of, those were the shoes that he had on. He was going to get his weight training shoes. Those are the black shoes that was supposedly been under his head. Now, under his head, okay, they say he bled out. Bled out from what? But they say he bled out. He vomited and he bled out. But the shoe that they made like he was trying to get had no vomit on it, had no blood on it, but yet it was right under his head.
So the blood that's seen on the pictures is supposed to be from him just bleeding out from being upside down?
Right. 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 Yes.
That
So, okay, because it's, it's a lot of stories going around, and of course social media takes a hold of different stories and everybody tries to put their idea together. Can you just kind of give us your opinion of what you think happened that day?
I just don't think my son was shot up. I'm gonna say allegedly, so it can't come back in here.
Right.
Shot up. I think he was allegedly shot up, and they jumped him out of nowhere. More than 2 or 3 guys, more jumped him, hit him with allegedly a weight. So we've been told, hit him with a weight, and knocked him out in whatever chokehold. So much different stuff from the pictures and photos. Like they tortured him. That's what I say. They tortured him.
Right. I agree 100%. Because you can't convince me that a young man bends or reaches down into a mat and by the time you discover his body, he has as many damages as he has to his body. That
The next day.
Yeah, no way.
yeah, that's absolutely no way. So can you tell us about what's going on with the case right now?
So right now, the case is closed. We're in the process of trying to get his body exhumed for a second time, and they're trying to stop that because they want their experts inside of what we're doing. Like we opening the door, letting them, we doing all the work, but they want to sit right there so they can be in charge of the work we're doing.
Really? They
know it's new evidence. That's why they want to be trying to stay on top of what we're doing.
Excuse me. So after having you all already having his body exhumed and being informed of what the findings were, you have to do it. You're in the midst of having to do that all over again.
All over again.
Oh my goodness.
The first time that the pathologist said blunt force trauma, the paramedics came in and said it was a homicide because he had bruising on that right part, but they didn't want to go with none of that. They just wanted to go with what their people said. Asphyxiation.
Right. That's just unbelievable, unreal. I'm sorry.
This was something, the kids putting their shoes up on the mat or in between the mat. This was something fairly common that they did, right? Like
I'm not sure, but one of the guys, they took a statement and said him and Kendrick shared shoes. Those were Kendrick's shoes, and him shared them. So I don't know.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So at this point, are there any activists or organizations helping you seek justice?
No. The NAACP that they have here, they got more cops sitting inside of. The chief of our police is here, is part of the NAACP. So how could you fight the police when the police don't know everything you're doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. And then we had NAACP from other cities, but once the real fight got going on, they got scared. They let all them people scared them and shot them down. So you ain't got no real organization still going.
Wow.
But even down here, they had a white woman, the head of the NAACP. How in the head? That sounds like a black person running the KKK.
Right.
Exactly. That's the truth. And I think it's really sad.
Ridiculous.
It is. It really is. I think it's really sad that, this case has been going on so long. There's 1,001 questions that need to be answered, and nobody seems to want to answer the questions. And it's like as fast as the case comes, is as fast as they sweep it under the rug.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna back it up. best as they try to spit under the rug, because this case ain't going nowhere. Like I tell everybody be talking about justice on the other side. No, they didn't kill Kendrick on the other side. They killed him on this side. I'm going to see me some justice right here on this side.
I know that's right.
Amen.
Yep. Amen. That's right.
I know that's
this
right.
parent, we ain't going nowhere. I don't care how hard they try. Like they even got us trying to pay a $300,000 worth of attorney fees. Okay.
I saw that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did see that.
Y'all. We still gonna fight y'all. It don't matter what you do, because y'all trying to shut. They want us to be silent. One thing they better know: we will not be silent when it comes to Kendrick Johnson. They messed around and killed the wrong child this time.
I know that's right.
I know that's right.
And
Did Kendrick ever talk about having any tension with anyone at the school?
No, not really. I mean, boys gonna be boys, and no, not really. But he did tell my husband a couple of incidents that he did go into. He didn't tell me, because he know if he came to me, I'm going to the school. I'm getting to the stores. I don't care about none of this. Who don't like who? This him. At the end of the day, this is my child.
Right.
He would tell his dad, and his dad would deal with it in a different way. But me, as being Mama Bell, I'm going to the school. I need him, and the dad is in the mama. Come on, let's get them together. Let's see what's going on with this him.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
So at this point, Ms. Johnson, what exactly is it that what kind of assistance would you help? Because what we do here on Factcheck TV is we reach out to families who are seeking some type of justice for a loved one. We send out requests. It's called an FOI request, where we're able to get the case files, to be able to dig through the case files to find any discrepancies. What exactly is it that you would like people to be able to do to assist you with getting justice for Kendrick?
First of all, we need people to stand with us, because it's like they really ain't paying us no attention, because it's like only maybe 30, 40 people at the most. And then we need more attorneys. It's one attorney to like 20, 30 different other attorney firms and stuff.
So there hasn't been any attorneys that have reached out to be able to help, to be able to assist you guys, other than the one that you have?
No.
Okay.
It's like everybody's scared of these people, because it's FBI, it's GBI, it's the Valdosta City Department, Police Department, it's the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department, and it's the school system, it's the people that did his autopsy. So it's like it's entangled in so many wells. So it's just like they like, okay, we know it's a whole bunch of wrong been doing, but you want to give bits and pieces and tell the attorney this, but you're scared to come out and help yourself.
Now,
wow.
I was looking at the pictures that they released. So originally, when they found Kendrick's body, do you know for sure if his organs were there? At what point were the organs taken and his body was stuffed with newspaper?
Okay, well, my husband did get to identify Kendrick's body, so nothing had been cut at that point. So from after my husband seeing his body on that Sunday, because we found him that Friday, the Thursday or that Friday, I can't remember, whatever day. I think it was that Friday. And they would not let me. I was at the school all that day. They would not let me identify that Kendrick's body. So when my husband drove trucks, he just bought him his own truck and everything. So my husband was out of town. So when my husband got back that Friday night, we did a press conference Sunday, and we demanded them not to have Kendrick's body sent nowhere till one of us identified. They tried to let my daughter identify Kendrick's body with a shoe on a picture, on a phone.
Are you serious?
Right, like when they made his tennis shoes, they made more than one pair. So how could she identify Kendrick through a shoe?
Right.
Wow. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Well, I personally never thought. I've been following the story since it first happened, and I personally never thought that your son accidentally fell over into or landed in that mat by himself. And then what was unbelievable to me was because of his height and his size, why he wouldn't be, if he did fall over in there, why he wouldn't have been able to get himself out.
Right.
It was it always appeared to me as though he was already, his life had already been taken, and then his body had been placed in there to make it look like it was an accident. But when you talk about black kids, I mean, I'm not trying to take this to a race level, but as an older woman and a mother, when you start talking about black kids in situations like that, they're going to fight their way out of a situation like that. If he had a fall, there would have been some sign showing where he was fighting to get out. He because all that is rubber. Those mats are nothing but rubber. It would have shown where he could have torn through that rubber.
Right. And you could tell he was rolling, how his legs was twisted behind one another. They throw the shoes in there and rolled his legs. His legs is twisted in the mat. Where he gonna go down in the mat in the hole with his legs twisted? For what? Right. It make no sense.
Yeah, I've been following the case for a while, and I just always said it is something wrong there. Like, and once I seen the witness statements, I said, "Oh, there you go."
All right.
And so, this time when you go ahead.
So, how many witnesses were there, or how many people came forward? Was it just the one individual that came forward to state what he had heard happened to Kendrick?
No, it was more than one.
And they disregarded all of them, or somehow found a way to scare them.
And then it was like I heard. I'm gonna say I heard it was this young lady that went to the sheriff department to tell them what happened. They told her to go home. They got this.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
I am so sorry that you even have to experience or go through this. You know, we definitely want to find a way to be able to link up at least a couple of parents who are experiencing some type of injustice with their loved ones, so that we can find some type of way to get justice. There has to be something has to be done, because it's child after child after child who's losing their lives, and they're either slapping the label of it being an accident, or they're just not doing what needs to be done to be able to investigate the case. I saw at one point on, I believe it was CNN, where the reporter had went to speak to the police chief, and he just didn't even want to speak. He threw him out of the office and didn't even want to talk. You know, there has to be some type of way that we can the first step, I believe, is we have to continue to bring awareness to Kendrick Johnson's case, so that the world does not stop putting the attention that needs to be put into it, you know? So, we definitely want to be able to assist you in any way possible. This is not just a one-time interview. We are here to stand by your side. If it's anything that you need from us, or any process or procedure that you need done, please just reach out to us and let us know. We will definitely take the steps that need to be done. We don't want anything in return. The only thing we want to see is justice, because if we can get justice for one, then if we can show the world that we can come together and get justice for one, then that right there is a step to show the world that we can come together and start fighting situations like this, instead of just laying down. It's easy for people to lay down or to forget when it's not your child.
Right.
So thank you so very much for giving us the time and sitting down and talking to Factcheck TV. And again, like I said, we're definitely going to stay in contact with you. And if it's anything that you need, please let us know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.